Good evening and welcome to the evening review. My name is Sokhana Klare. Let's take a look at the front page. Good evening and welcome to the evening review. I'm joined in studio by two veterinary science graduates from the University of Namibia who form part of 17 students who have been jobless since they graduated. They join us in studio to share their dilemma in getting jobs as the first cohort of students to graduate, of locally trained veterinary science students to graduate in Namibia. Welcome to the evening review.
Thank you.
Thank you. What was your expectation starting upon graduation as the first locally trained veterinarians in the country?
Okay, first, good evening to the listeners. Our expectations as first graduates was the expectations were quite high because should have been national pride. It is a program that has been running for quite some time and it's the first of its kind. So our expectations were quite high and we were hoping to just start working as soon as we had qualified.
Okay. What about you, Dr. Martin?
Like my colleague said, we really hoped high and we were caught by surprise because we thought government and the university had enough time to plan all this, but then it turned out the other way and we are really surprised. Personally, I was expecting to be posted somewhere, maybe in Okahanja or Kakarara as a state vet. But here we are today, jobless, and we are the first graduates. We are really shocked.
Okay. And then how much of a challenge has it been gaining employment within government, which is said to have a shortage of veterinarians? And what is the conversation that you're having between yourself and government to secure postings within government?
Okay, first of all, when the program has started, when we were students, we thought everything was fine. We thought then the School of Veterinary Medicine had a certain agreement with government and government knows exactly what's going on and they should know that after 6 years they will be graduating the students. But then it was unfortunate. So then in our final year, at the end of our final year, we decided to engage the school, first of all, but we did not get any, we didn't get a response. They told us their job was to give us quality education and that's it. And then we moved on to engage the Ministry of Agriculture, where we were quite privileged to have met the former minister of the Ministry of Agriculture. And then we had spoken to him, we had raised our issue. And then when he raised, we then had the meeting with him and okay, they asked that something was to be done. So then came now this year, nothing was done. Then we moved on again to try to engage the current minister on the issue, but we didn't get any response. But then the ED as well as the chief veterinarian was aware of our issue and we also had a meeting with them together with the former minister. So they were quite aware, but they did not seem to have answers to us.
Okay.
So we have been sending them emails, but they were not responding.
Okay. In these emails, what are some of the recommendations that you gave and what are the recommendations that you also received from the other end to sort of absorb this cohort of students?
Oh, okay. I wanted to also go back to the previous question to start with. Let me say it's very challenging because what we are doing the work that was supposed to be done within 6 years and we are squeezing it now in 1 year. Because we thought the university and the government, they are at the same page because this school was established in collaboration of the two institutions. So it's very challenging because we also don't have support from either the university and from the DVS, so they are not there to really advocate for this. So we tried consulting, like my colleague said, the ministry, but things were going well when the Honorable Afils Naruseb were there. So we consulted him, we had a meeting with him, we concluded that they are going to restructure the DVS so they create more positions to absorb us. But that was done, luckily by the chief vet and approved. But since now, when the Honorable left, people started now sleeping on the matter. All of a sudden, they don't have answers to our question. So we then decided to engage the current minister, to email him so that he can pick up from where the former minister left it. But he didn't show any interest in this matter, so we really tried to engage government, but they are not being supportive and they are not being helpful.
Okay. Well, in terms of the absorption of you now going into DVS, what was agreed to at the time when the former minister Alfius Naruseb left, or when he left government?
So when we then engaged the ministry that time, to them it was sort of, they didn't know. So we just brought to them, and that was the start of it. So the initial step was then to create positions, and we believe that was done. So we now did not know that from the creation of positions, what would have been done following there.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what efforts have you made, at least now, seeing now that this door in government is seemingly blocked, to gain employment within the private sector?
Yeah, so from the private sector, we really tried, but they are saturated. They couldn't absorb us. They don't advertise their posts. And we also tried volunteering, but they say they had enough staff, so they cannot accommodate us. And the other thing is they have their certain way of running their own practices. We can't really demand them to advertise their posts. So we don't see this, but some of our colleagues that got absorbed in private, 2 of them, we didn't see where those positions were advertised. So there's nothing much we can really do about private, as they are saying they are saturated.
Okay. What is the danger in having a vet that has just graduated, a doctor for that matter, not be able to practice?
So there is a big danger in that. The fact is that the program is quite practical, and there is so much that you have to know and to learn all the time. So, and what happens is that with experience, the more you do something, the more you become confident, and the more you're able to do greater things or even bigger stuff. So then it is a big challenge if we don't practice, because we tend to forget things are a lot. So we need to practice and then get like at least the basics, get them in, and be able to move on or do things on our own at least. Yes.
From your part, Dr. Martin?
Yeah, let me just start with all the practical professions. There's a danger, because it's a waste of training if you don't get employed, if you don't get to do something towards your career. But from the veterinary point of view, it's a danger again that you need to be doing something towards your career in order to maintain your registration. And furthermore, you need to be paying a certain fee annually in order to maintain your registration in the council. When I'm talking about the council, it's Veterinary Council of Namibia. So it's there's a very big danger, because you need to have been doing something in order to attain these points. They call it a program called continuous professional development, meaning you score points as you go with your career. So if you don't do that, they deregister you, and that you can only do when you are employed, or you do research somewhere, or if you are just adding something to your career. And you can't do that in the streets, unfortunately.
And If you were to be deregistered potentially, what would it mean for your qualification as newly graduated veterinarians?
Once you have been deregistered, it means you cannot practice as a veterinarian in this country. So that would mean your degree or your qualification is null. It's void. You cannot use it. You can't even touch it anymore. So, yeah.
And it will mean that you have to redo the training or rewrite the council examination for you to regain that registration, because it's like you lost all the knowledge and now you are restarting. So for the council to register you again, you must prove to them through an exam that you are still fit. So it's really a waste if government is not absorbing us.
Okay. And then you also had a similar discussion with the leader of the official opposition, Honorable McHenry Venani, raising this issue with him. What was the outcome of that conversation with the Honorable Member of Parliament?
It was very productive to start with, because we managed to gather all the media and everything, and we also managed to make it a motion in Parliament. So it was really productive.
Okay.
Yes, on that point, I should just acknowledge the fact that Honorable President of PDM has made it possible for us to reach them, first of all, and to reach media. Because then we believe that this information has to reach somewhere. It has to reach the right minds, and then we also needed, we need support, because it's like people are keeping this under the tables. And we also asked to not question. We introduced this to the ministry, but they asked us not to question them on the issue, because they are dealing with it and it's an internal issue. We couldn't understand how it's internal if we brought it to them, to their attention. So we really appreciate the effort that the Honorable President put in it, and the fact that they got to see us and engage and hear what we had to say.
Okay. And then now, in terms of the ministry telling you that it's an internal arrangement that they have to make, have they at least given you any timelines to say, okay, dear students, we at least expect to wrap this thing up in 3 months, in 4 months? Is there ongoing conversation coming from the side of the ministry, or is it always an effort from your side to get the ball rolling?
Yeah, no, they haven't been in touch with us. It's always up to us to go to them and ask where the dynamics are. But then we got pissed when they replied that don't question us about this, we are dealing with it. That we are still in the vacuum like that, because there is no deadline on when we must expect the jobs and stuff like that. So we got really impatient, and we are not even remorseful about what we did, because they gave us all these reasons.
Okay, Dr. Simon, in closing.
Okay, I just want to say that I feel like they have been making it difficult for us every other time. So when we had to follow up, it's like we're starting over again. It's like nobody knows. This one is saying, no, maybe go to the other office, I'm not aware, we're dealing with it. And then we question, what is that is being dealt with that we don't know? Because we then thought that we are the ones that introduced this, we're supposed to follow the process through. But then later they went to say, no, we're just dealing with it, but we do not know what they're dealing with, and they did not get back to us, and it's been over 5 months now.
Sure. Thank you for joining us on the Evening Review, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Please stay tuned for the weather, and thank you for watching. Good night.